Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Pelipper! Pelipper on a very strong ABB-style team for the Great League, and it will be serving as the lead on this team. Oh man, Pelipper is back on the map, my friends. It has never been better. It is quite versatile on the lead, and with the wing attack buff, it is quite spammy. And also on this team, we've got good old Dunsparse on the safe swap. Dunsparse proves to be an amazing safe swap on this team because it covers a lot of the weaknesses that Pelipper will face. Most notably, those very strong electric types. That is Pelipper's kryptonite. And with access to Drill Run and Rollout, Rollout allows it to get to those super effective drill runs on the electric types quite fast. Dunsparse will also draw out any fighters so that Galarian Stunfisk doesn't have to see them and can roam free and wreak havoc, close the game strong. Dunsparse on this team is meant to draw out any potential fighters so the Pelipper can come back in, hopefully farm them down, clearing the way for G-Fisk to close the game strong. But before we dive into the featured set of the video, we are starting things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons of fun. And we are picking up a nightmare lead in the form of Dedenne, making a play into our safe swap Dunsparse. And this is where Dunsparse really comes in clutch on this team. Having that ground coverage is amazing. And they counter swap us with a Medicham. So we are quite spammy with Rollout and Drill Run. And you just go for Drill Run generally, unless it is resisted by something like a Flyer. In that case, you're going to go Rock Slide. Drill Run is the better move to go for. And they are going to throw some energy after overloading by quite a bit. It is a Psychic, and as tanky as we are, that does KO. That is fine. That's what Dunsparce is here to do. Draw out that fighter so that G-Fisk does not have to see it. They are at a potential Psychic. Gonna let this go. It does not KO. And knowing that they have an electric type, yeah, we're kind of expendable. They tried to snipe us with a charge move, and we were onto them. We catch that double resisted damage on our G-Fisk, and now this poor Dedenne is locked into a nightmare matchup. That was a risky play by our opponent, and it unfortunately is not going to pay off for them because this allows us to overload. We tank everything from Dedenne. We are now capped out. I don't anticipate that they will shield this, and they don't. We say bye-bye to the poor little Dedenne. That's unfortunate for them, and they've got a Flyer in the back. This is why this Pelipper team, I believe, is probably the strongest one you can go for, guys. Clearing out the fighter with Pelipper is quite nice. They aggro swap back into that Medicham. We farm it down with wing attacks, and we now have a loaded Hurricane for this Noctowl. They are down a shield, and they let that go. That is amazing. And they promptly top left. I think they were expecting a bait, maybe. Lost track of our energy. Who knows? But we win. Good game. Well played to them. If you guys want to run Pelipper and you need a strong team for it, this one might be for you. This one was quite good. And here we go. Shadow Victory Bell on the lead. This is a little bit of a tricky one. They're doing resisted damage. We're doing super effective. And we were absolutely chunking. They make an aggressive play into a defense form Deoxys. This is looking to be a very common team. We're going to go for this big Hurricane and swap into our Stunfisk. Stunfisk can do quite well, especially if you're able to chip with some massive damage like what we did there with that Hurricane. And like I was saying, this is looking to be a very common team that we often see. It leads with Shadow Victory Bell, and it almost always has a Bastion on in the back for sure. And you could either see Medicham, which you commonly do, or Defense Form Deoxys, which is what we're seeing here. So that is what we are reading. We are just looking to overload a little bit and take out the Deoxys, fully expecting that Shadow Vic to come back in. We wanted to leave that Deoxys matchup with a move loaded, and we do, and we pressure a shield, and we will not make it to another one. Unfortunately, that Shadow Razor Leaf with Stab is quite OP. There it is, right on cue, the Bastion. This is why we've got Dunsparce on this team, guys. It doesn't hit particularly hard. In fact, it kind of hits like a wet noodle, but my goodness, does it make up with its bulk and its coverage. Holy smokes, they let that go. That does double super effective damage. And now the play here is actually shield these moves from the Bastiodon. One more drill run will not quite KO. And we will look to get it off here, and they will make it to another Stone Edge. But I'm going to try one of the craziest, insanely aggressive farm downs you can imagine. We're going to try and farm this Bastiodon down with Rollout from Dunsparce. That's an insane task, but we do get the farm down, fully expecting a blind throw from the Shadow Vic, and we catch that onto our Pelipper. That's amazing. And it was an acid spray, so that could have been catastrophic for us. We anticipated that, so we played accordingly. We've got the back-to-backs. This Shadow Vic is not making it to another move, and we are getting off this drill run, and we are saying bye-bye to the Shadow Vic. Holy smokes, look at Dunsparce closing the game strong. Would you have ever thought? That's going to be a good game. Well played. My goodness, how about Dunsparce closing that last one out? That was quite interesting to see. But here we go, Trevenant lead. Very tricky lead for this team, as we are doing super effective fast move pressure. But our fast activating charge attack of Weather Ball is resisted, but Trevenant's not known for its bulk. We let this go. They almost always just go Seed Bomb. It's not worth it. Shielding up a Seed Bomb bait, so we never shield on Trevenant. And this was the first battle I encountered with this team here. We went for the Weather Ball. I learned that they will never shield. So we catch this Seed Bomb on our Dunsparce, and you just go right for that Hurricane. They will not shield because they have a Lantern in the back. This is a newer Trevenant team that I have been encountering. It runs Trevenant, Lantern, and Noctowl. So you go for that Hurricane and you get the Trevenant out of the way, which allows you to immediately swap into Dunsparce, and you play out this matchup here. We tank a Thunderbolt, no problem. We are quite bulky. We got off a drill run, and we are going for drill run number 2. Fully reading that there is a Noctowl in the back. That seems to be the newer Trevenant team that has surfaced in the Great League. And I do believe we let this go. We have a shield. We grabbed the shield with Dunsparce from the Lantern. You love to see it. So now we're going to come in, take that shield advantage, and go to work with our G-Fisk here. They are going to go for a Surf. We absolutely tank a Surf. No problem, but we're going to let this go. Preserve some health and look to overload by quite a bit. We're going to throw here and look to get rid of the Lantern. This could grab a shield. They might want to hold on to this Lantern, but no, they let it go. That is amazing. And they come back in with the low health Trevenant. We were going to try and farm that thing down, but they bank some energy, and there it is, the Noctowl right on cue. So if you run into a Trevenant lead, it's pretty safe to read that there is perhaps a Lantern and a Noctowl in the back. So we read the team correctly. Going to go for another Rock Slide here. They can tank too, no problem. And they do tank that. They are playing this very carefully. Good on them. So we're going to throw Pelipper in here to pressure that final shield. We knew that we had a Weather Ball stored, and hopefully force them to throw some of that energy. They've been overloading, and they do throw the energy. That is amazing. That's exactly what we wanted. And they go Shadow Ball. Holy smokes. They no-bubbled that to get some extra farm. I think that was a bit of a waste of energy, but it's a moot point because they have no shields, and we've got a Rock Slide locked and loaded. We are saying bye-bye to the Noctowl, and this is just about over. We farmed down the Trevenant. They needed more energy on that Trevenant to have any hope, but it was too low. Good game, well played to them. Guys, I've played a lot of Pelipper teams. I'm pretty confident in saying this one is the best one you can go with. And here we go. Basti lead. That's a terrible lead. We're going into Dunsparce. This is why we've got Dunsparce on this team. And they bring in a Trevenant onto our normal type Dunsparce. Oh, you love to see it. Dunsparce just has the coverage, guys, for this meta. It addresses all of the problems that Pelipper can face. It complements Pelipper's abilities beautifully. And you just go Rock Slide on the Trevenant. It looks like they have very few answers to a strong normal type with this type of coverage. This is what makes Dunsparce very interesting in this new meta in the Great League. It does not hit very hard, but you got to know what you're working with, guys. It's all about the bulk and the coverage. It has amazing bulk and amazing coverage. Doesn't hit hard, but it makes up for it with its moveset and its bulk. And we are going for Rock Slide number 3. And it doesn't quite KO. I really needed that to KO. We want to maintain alignment. We cannot have that Basti anywhere near our Pelipper, so they force a shield from us. That is fine. We are now even on shields here, and they've got a Sableye in the back. You'd love to see it. So gonna go Drill Run on the Sableye. Again, that's the move you go for if you are in neutral or super effective situations. If Drill Run is resisted, of course you go Rock Slide. And nice catch, trainer. They catch that Drill Run on their Basti. I don't think it's going to help them. Does quite a bit to a very bulky Pokemon. And they did not know what we had in the back. And they have no shields, unfortunately. So this is looking pretty good for us. We do still have to play a little carefully. That Sableye is pretty healthy as they did catch the Drill Run. We're just going to max out on energy, get rid of this Basti. This 100% KOs. We're saying bye-bye to the Basti, and we're going to try to get to an EQ on the Sableye. That's the play here. We tank a foul play, no problem. We cannot tank a second one if they do get to another one, and they do right here on the CMP. We will gladly use our final shield to get off this big damage on the Sableye. And we do. We're going for this EQ. It will not KO, but it will be getting the Sableye quite low, allowing our Pelipper to come in and finish off the Sableye. We will outpace to this Weather Ball. We get to it, and we are closing out the game with Pelipper. Oh, this team is so powerful. That's going to be a good game. Well played to our opponent. Those bonus battles were a lot of fun, but we now move into the featured set of the video and picking up a positive lead in the form of Swampert. They make a play in the Frostlass, and we come in with G-Fisk. So I was comfortable coming in with G-Fisk on this thing, obviously, because we don't want it anywhere near our Swampert. And I was reading that it had a Skarmory in the back, and I'm thinking Dunsparse will do quite fine against a potential Skarmory in the back. So this is what we did here. We're going to look to take out the Frostlass with a Rock Slide, but not before they get to another Avalanche and force the CMP event. We, of course, have to shield that because we absolutely need our Pelipper on that Swampert. Pelipper does quite well against it, and they leave this mid-game matchup with a shield advantage, but we have the ability to control the alignment. And we're just going to go Rock Slide here. A lot of Swampert players will try and CMP you to the EQ, but some damage is better than no damage. So I've learned to not even try and bother with that EQ. And they recognize what we're doing. They don't want to get hit by another resisted Rock Slide because it does quite a bit to a Shadow Swampert. It's quite squishy, and they do take us out. They're going to look to go for a resisted Hydro Cannon here. We let this go, no problem, especially at a shield disadvantage. And they've got a Registeel in the back. They're not supposed to have this. They're throwing us a massive curveball here, guys. They're supposed to have Skarmory. So this complicates things quite a bit because we're down a shield. We do tank a Focus Blast, I will say, because we are quite bulky. But our fast move pressure is, 1, it doesn't have stab, and 2, it's resisted. But we can hit this thing for super effective with our drill runs, and we are going for a drill run, drawing a shield from the very tanky Registeel. And we now have a very tough decision. We're going to shield this and go down on shields. We got to get in more damage on this Registeel, or at least grab the final shield. So we're going to go for this drill run here. And we're trying our best. Had we known there was a Registeel, I think we would have come in with Dunsparce on the Frostlass, because at least with Frostlass, we're doing super effective damage with our fast move pressure and can do the Rock Slides. We tried to snipe, but we were 1 wing attack off, and that's another mistake. Had we banked the wing attack, or excuse me, the Weather Ball, this matchup would have gone a lot different, and we are vigorously trying to top lift that, but good game, well played to our opponent. Man, guys, I'm telling you, this Pelipper team was really putting in the work, and here we go, another Trevenant lead. So this is where we caught wise to the Trevenants and all other grass types, actually. They don't shield the Weather Ball. We build up to the Hurricane, And this time, we had a Trevenant no shield our Weather Ball. This time, we're actually going to go for the Hurricane. They don't shield, guys. They're expecting that Weather Ball bait. And we'd rather just get rid of this thing. A lot of people would bait, but we're not. And we're taking out the Trevenant just like that. I highly doubt they expected that. And that's one major problem out of the way. Trevenant can be quite the handful. It's nice to have it out of the game. And here we are. There it is, right on cue, guys. Like I said in the last battle, this seems to be the new Trevenant team. And they catch our double resisted drill run on the Noctowl. Good on them. Very nice catch by them. But this seems to be the newer Trevenant team. Trevenant lead with Lantern and Noctowl in the back. So if you run into a Trevenant lead, I think you can safely read that there is definitely going to be a Lantern and Noctowl. So this is how we're playing. They've revealed the remainder of their team, and we're just going to stay right here. We tank these sky attacks, and we will make it to a couple more rock slides here. We're going for another rock slide. And try and pressure some of those shields on the Noctowl. They now have to shield. A rock slide would be lethal from this range. Gonna throw Pelipper in here to force them to throw their energy. And if they fully charge us, it will take us out. And they do. Our Dunsparce is quite low. Gonna put it all on G-Fisk to bring this home for us. G-Fisk has very solid matchups against both Noctowl and Lantern, especially with a shield advantage. So they do bring back in the Lantern and are going to go for a Surf. We tank a Surf, no problem. We are double resisting this fast move pressure. This is a Spark Lantern, so we're quite fine tanking a Surf. They cannot farm down, and we will have to shield from here on out. Going for this big EQ, and they let it go. Oh, you love to see it. Oh, they had to call a bait, guys. That was kind of their win condition. So if you know your opponent's win condition, you'll want to play against that win condition. We went right for that big EQ, and now all we need is back-to-back rock slides, and they will reach a move here. A Sky Attack would be lethal from this range. Any move actually would be, so we're going to shield this and go for the back-to-back rock slide. This is where team reading can really work in your favor, guys. So we do have the back-to-back. They need another wing attack to get to another sky attack, and it's not going to happen. We are saying bye-bye to the Noctowl. Stunfisk doing what it was intended to do, and that is close the game strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Guys, I'm telling you, Pelipper with this backline was racking up the wins left and right. You love to see it, but not on a lead like this. This is an awful lead, the nightmare lead. We had a Lantern on our Pelipper in the lead. We make a play into our safe swap Dunsparce, and they meet us with a Ghost type. That means they're super weak to a Pokemon like Dunsparce. With this typing and this coverage, it core breaks a lot of teams, guys. This is quite telling. You never bring a Ghost type in onto a normal type. So that kind of clues us in on to what could be in the back. Maybe a Noctowl? I don't know. We'll have to see. But we're going for this drill run on the Sableye, and we're doing quite a bit of damage. This is now farm down range. We tank another foul play, no problem, from the Sableye, and they are doing virtually no damage, but we will shield this to preserve some health and farm the Sableye down. Recognizing that loaded energy on Dunsparce with this potential team, there it is, right on cue, could be quite valuable. They've got a Noctowl lurking in the back. We're going for these rock slides. That's why we shielded, guys. The energy I was seeing as highly valuable with this particular team here. They led Lantern. If they wanted to come in with the Lantern, we had moves ready for that. If they wanted to come in with a Flyer like Noctowl, we've got the moves for that. That's why Dunsparce can be quite effective right now in the Great League, guys. It's amazing. So we're going for another rock slide, really putting the pressure on this poor Noctowl. We now have a shield advantage. Going to align Pelipper onto the Noctowl, of course. We don't want our Pelipper anywhere near that Lantern. It is literally the worst matchup for Pelipper in this meta. And they bring back in the Lantern, not knowing what we had lurking in the back, but little did they know. We got a ground type, and they are running Spark. They're going to go for a Surf. We tank these Surfs all day, guys, and we can tank another one, and it will put us into the red, but they're not going to be able to farm down. So we're going to take full advantage of our type advantage in this matchup and look to really overload on energy. One EQ will just about take out the Lantern. Not quite. It'll hang on by a thread. And it does, but that just gives us more farm. We now leave this mid-game matchup with close to a rock slide. One mud shot gets us there. And this is a night-night, sleep tight for that poor Noctowl with no shields. And they recognize that. Looks like they maybe force close the app, but we close the game out either way with our closer, Gfisk. I'm telling you, this Pelipper team, if you want a good Pelipper team, this one might be for you. Good game, well played to them. You guys beginning to see why I am very comfortable in saying this is the best team you could run with Pelipper. I was having a lot of fun and a lot of success with this team. Look at this. Dunsparse core breaker extraordinaire. It looks like they really didn't know what to do with a Dunsparce safe swap, and now it is confirmed. They bring in another ghost type on our Dunsparce. What is going on? Something about Dunsparce just lures out the ghost types. I don't know what it is, guys. Oh, man, but we will take this all day. No problem. Gonna go for these neutral rock slides. We are quite spammy with rollout, and we are quite tanky, which means that we tank these seed bombs. And they are doing no damage with their fast move pressure. But going to shield this, preserve some health, recognizing yet again that loaded energy on Dunsparce could be quite valuable. We want to get to back-to-back rock slides, so we're going to double shield Dunsparce and try and take out this Trevenant to align appropriately. Not sure what their third could possibly be. They did lead with Powder Snow Ninetales. But we're going to throw one more rollout and take out the Trevenant here. This is definitely rock slide range, even from a Dunsparce. We're saying bye-bye to the Trevenant. And oh, looky what they've got here, guys. They've got yet another Lantern. This is amazing. This is why we wanted to control the alignment. You never know if there's a Lantern lurking in the back. And if you're running a Pelipper, you want to control the alignment. So they did tank a super effective drill run, did quite a bit, and they're going to take us out. We can now align our ground type Galarian Stunfisk onto the Lantern. And they're going to aggro swap and look to snipe us with a charge move. Just a weather ball. Not going to do a whole lot. And now we're going to align the Pelipper onto the A9. That's Pelipper's best matchup here on the Pokemon remaining on their team. And we're going to look to CMP tie them to the big Hurricane. Not going to quite KO, but it's going to be doing a lot of damage. And this is wing attack range for them. They are at a potential Dazzling Gleam. I'm fine if it KOs, but it doesn't. We hang on. Holy smokes. And we simultaneously KO. This is lights out, and they top left. That Lantern could do nothing to our Gfisk. That's going to be yet another good game. Well played. I'm telling you guys, if you got a Pelipper and you have access to the backline Pokemon, definitely try this team. It's amazing. And here we go. Venusaur lead. We're going to play this just like we did with that Trevenant lead. I'm finding these grass types on the lead. They no shield our Weather Ball baits. So we're going to shield up a Frenzy Plant. Would do a lot of damage to Pelipper. And we're going for the massive Hurricane. Let's see if they respect the Hurricane. They have not been. We're going for it. And we're saying bye-bye to the Venusaur. You love to see it. Holy smokes. They showed Umbreon, and we counter-swapped with our Dunsparce, and we draw out a Talonflame. Not an answer to Dunsparce. Again, guys, this is why Dunsparce Core Breaker Extraordinaire is what I am now referring to it as. Oh my goodness, look at this, guys. Dunsparce about to put in work on this Talonflame. You love to see it. They have to shield this. It would be doing a massive amount of damage, and we now have a shield advantage. Not going to shield this next move. We're going to bring Pelipper back in onto the Talonflame. It's just about within Weather Ball range, those super effective rollouts. We're really chipping away at the Talonflame. We get to this Weather Ball, and it's just about within range. We're saying bye-bye to the Talonflame, and now our switch timer is up, but we want to hang around here to do some big damage on the Umbreon with no shields. We tank a foul play, no problem. And we're going to look to get some big damage off with this Hurricane. It'll make it a lot smoother for Gfisk to close the game strong. Does not KO, but it just about puts it within EQ plus Mudshot range. It looks like they recognize that, and they promptly top left. Gfisk was going to clean up that end game, no problem. And that is the team, my friends. Holy smokes. Good game, well played to our opponent. And look at that, guys. Pelipper with Dunsparse and G-Fisk, I think is the way to go, my friends. If you've got a Dunsparse, please, definitely, and you want to run Pelipper, definitely give this team a try. It is well worth it. Traditionally, if you want to run Pelipper, you could run a team with G-Fisk and Registeel in the back. I just think Dunsparse in the place of Registeel actually has better coverage on this current meta right now, particularly for the Lantern and Noctowl core. Dunsparce core breaks that very common core very hard and very effectively. Which is why I chose to put it on the safe swap, and my goodness, did it pay off. Definitely would recommend. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.